Hello and welcome to the Happy Hour Hustle podcast with our host Kim Bodie.
I am absolutely thrilled to be chatting with you.
Principal and fearless leader of 834 Integrated Communications. On this podcast, you're going to learn a lot about a lot, like public relations, marketing, digital, and advertising.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Forgive us if you hear some dogs in the background. We love them, and there's a medium-sized pack at the office at all times.
Fantastic.
So grab a glass of wine, preferably one with ice in it, and learn a little something today. Welcome back to Happy Hour Hustle, where, you get a lot of different kinds of things from us. You get great interviews from us with local influencers, and we're not talking about the ones who are taking selfies and pictures of their coffee. Well, we also were doing that, but whatever. And you get industry advice, you get all of the things from us, but today you are graced with myself, Julia Backus, and our lovely PR intern, Emma Nelson, talking about these last couple weeks in media. It's been interesting, hasn't it, Emma?
It really has, Jules. And I'm excited to get into it with you.
So let's do just that. Let's get into it. So in case you've been living under a rock, the former host of Fear Factor has a podcast called The Joe Rogan Experience. And somehow, some way, this dude is on everyone's lips every single week for hot takes, misinformation about the vaccine, contradicting himself constantly. I think I saw a clip from him, I believe it was the week before lockdown in 2020, where his sentiment on vaccines completely contradicts where he stands now. And yeah, so he has this exclusive deal with Spotify and many other artists. Predominantly, it seems like Canadian artists are pulling their music, Miss Joni Mitchell.
Jules can no longer listen to River whenever she wants.
I'm trying to cry and be a sad girl, but I can't do that because there's no more Joni Mitchell on Spotify, and I am a strong Spotify supporter, so this has been really hard for me. But also our King Neil Young pulled his music. Other creators like Brene Brown has pulled her podcast from the platform. And now they're going back and scrubbing a lot of the podcasts that there is misinformation included, or, that just doesn't align with their values, and keeping the other ones up. So Emily, how do you feel about this? Because I think you told me once that you're a Fear Factor fan.
This is true, Jules. I do love Fear Factor. It's cheap entertainment, to say the least.
We love a good reality show.
Exactly. A good rerun in the background while I'm studying.
Fair
Fear
enough.
Factor.
Okay,
Perfect.
so this is like a recent thing that you're enjoying Fear Factor.
I would say within the last year.
Okay, well, we have a confession here on the Happy Hour Hustle podcast. Emma is maybe currently watching Fear Factor reruns. But basically the sentiment is like, why are we listening to this bald man? Like, no offense to bald men, we love them. But like specifically these cis white bald men, it doesn't make sense.
And the fact that this has been going on, like, this is nothing new. People
new.
Are just now catching on and deciding to do something about it, which is good.
It's just like jester behavior, as you would say.
Not king behavior, jester behavior.
And that's that. So our next part of the media that we're going to really want to dive into is, it's more of a rant. So if you've been living under a rock and you didn't realize, the Olympics are happening right now. And also, if you're on the platform of Twitter, or honestly even TikTok at this point, Leslie Jones, the former SNL castmate and comedian, she is a great commentator, color commentator of the Olympics. And when we say color, we mean using colorful language, taking videos in her living room of her TV, live tweeting, just basically going off and saying everything that we're thinking. So what were you feeling when you heard the news that Miss Leslie may be getting pressure from NBC to not do that kind of commentating.
Is this Lorne Michaels?
No, it's like NBC is a corporation. There's like murmurs going around that that's who the they is when she says, you know, that she, you know, may have to stop doing the live tweeting because she's getting pressure from others, but not like explicitly saying NBC.
Yeah.
But NBC is known as the broadcast affiliate of the Olympics, and then also that's where SNL has been, you know, for the last, 45 years or however long they've been around, forever. So it's hard to hear because, like, can we just have one thing, like a singular thing?
Yeah. Also, I will say, I would love to hear her thoughts on Shaun White and his lovely girlfriend, Nina Dobrev.
Did you seeing them on social media gives me hope.
It does. No, absolutely. And I'm not, for those listening, I'm not a big sport girly, but I can get behind the Olympics. I can.
It's that, like, national, like,
yes.
You see these athletes that have worked their whole lives.
I'm #proud to be an American.
Right, and it's been hard.
It has. So when I watch flashback reels of Shaun White, I do feel like an American, and I am proud.
When they talk about the flying tomato.
Flying tomato. And Mountain Dews, baby.
Yes. And he's like, yeah, we were partying. And she's like, what do you mean you were partying? Mountain Dews, baby?
I do feel like it was really Mountain Dew.
I mean, it had to have been. He was, what, like 17, 18? Anywho, if you're not understanding what we're talking about, we'll link the video in the description.
Okay, and Jules, the last thing we must discuss, the abolishment of the tampon tax here in Michigan.
Woo woo!
Yeah, to say the least.
Shouting out to all menstruating people in the state of Michigan. There has been a great development. Big Gretch herself, Gretchen Whitmer, our governor, has abolished the tampon tax, and you heard that correctly, despite the necessity that menstruating people have to, protect themselves, because if you're not using these types of products, then it could mess with your work day, it could mess with your commute, whatever it is. Functionality of life, that's a good way to put it. And there is a frequency of need monthly for most menstruating people, and Michiganders have been paying a 6% sales tax whenever they purchase tampons, pads, other menstrual products, cups, whatever it is that they need. That's just crazy. It's something that we literally need every month to just get through the day, right?
Yeah.
Michigan.gov actually put out a statistic that I was just like floored by. There is a cost associated with this, right? That cost over the course of a menstruating person's life is somewhere between $3,360 and $4,800 over the course of somebody's lifetime. That's a sick joke.
About time that we're doing these things.
Damn time. If you liked any of these hot takes, or you want to hear other hot takes from us, hit us up. You can find us at 834.com. You can find us on social media, probably talking about dogs per usual. And yeah, we'll catch you on the download.
Bye.
But we have a guest for our last segment here. Meg Chittenden's coming in.
Come on, Meg.
Some wine, some Starburst.
She came into the podcast to
Anything
deliver
else,
wine
ladies?
and Starburst.